is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
To return some videotapes. 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 Videotapes.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Strange Glow Video. My name is Justin. With me as always is my esteemed colleague, co-host extraordinaire, Alec, and then some cat buttholes.
Yeah, there's some cat
Balls.
shenanigans going on. Balls and buttholes, and
Is your cat's tail bald?
he has a little bald spot right now. It had like I don't know what happened to it. Like I came in one day and it was a little iffy, and then
okay.
it's still healing up. So it's pretty much healed. It's just the bald spot's not covered yet. So
The bald-butted cat of Miami
just on his little
County.
bald spot on his tail. That's all.
Yeah.
Poor man. And Darwin wasn't feeling too great last night, but he's feeling good today. He's up here. He's purring up a storm right now. So
There you go.
he was puking yesterday, and I was like, fucking cats, man.
Cats. Yeah, they do that. They do that. Cats. Snakes. I don't know, snakes. So tonight we're going to talk about a holiday classic in our household, at least. Growing up anyway, Batman Returns.
Mm-hmm.
Some may not say this is a holiday movie. I think it's a holiday movie. Takes place over the holidays.
I would strongly disagree because all of it is way too relevant, and we'll get into that. I don't even have my notes here. I did take notes, but like I know this movie well enough. We can talk about all the Christmas stuff. We can do things.
I mean, when you're talking about this movie, right? What do we got? We've got.
If you want to talk just Christmas, off the top of my head, I can tell you right now.
Well, you have the Christmas tree lighting twice.
No, I'm in order. Before that, the movie opens up on Christmas. Penguin's birthday is either Christmas or around Christmas because there's a Christmas tree in that room where he kills the cat. First Christmas tree right there.
And our Paul Rubens cameo.
Yes, Paul Rubens being glorious. Obviously Tim Burton directed the first Pee-wee movie in 1985. And
who was the wife there? I thought she was someone that's noteworthy as well. I'm just forgetting her name at the moment.
Shit, my tape's on the other side over there. I don't have it. I think it is too. Now that I'm struggling to think of who, but either way, then they're strolling in the park to dump the baby after it kills the cat because that's what you do. At least this is probably why it's a good idea that I'm not a parent, because if I had a child that like killed my cat, I would instantly have no troubles dumping it in a river like this and being like, fucking, now I'm going to go get another cat.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's a cat murderer. So, but they're in there, they're walking, and they're about to dump the baby, and another couple walks by with their baby, and they say Merry Christmas, and they respond Merry Christmas. So it starts with Christmas and then picks up Christmas 33 years later, which I will point out makes me the same age as the Penguin in this movie.
Nice. Okay.
So you're older than the Penguin ever got to be, which is fucked up considering, look at him. I mean, he was what, 40 maybe when he played this role, 45?
Probably close to my age, yeah.
Damn. But then you go, to the first tree lighting ceremony there.
Mm-hmm.
Penguin's down in there. The sewer looking up, and Alfred's talking to Sean Whalen.
Yep.
The paper boy.
Yeah, he has a great role in this movie. It's so much fun to see like these great character actors in this film.
Yeah. Well, there's also another one of his Penguin's goons is another very famous guy. He's one of the teachers in Fast Times. He's one of the ghosts in Ghost. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to tell you his name, though.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either, but
I will tell you who played the Penguin's mom. It was Diane Salinger.
Oh, okay.
And she was also in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Let's see what else she's been in. Batman Returns. Yeah, so I'm assuming because she came back as that cameo, probably just because of that, because he was a Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which is directed by Tim Burton. So that makes sense. That adds up. That's pretty awesome though. Good stuff.
Sorry, don't mind
Danny
me.
DeVito is just so fucking good in this movie. And Michelle Pfeiffer's great too. The subtlety in the duality that she portrays between Catwoman and Selena Kyle is so good. Especially ditzy Selena Kyle.
Okay, so the guy I was talking about before is Vincent Schiavelli.
Okay.
He was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You know who was also in that?
Danny DeVito.
And Jack Nicholson, the Joker.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. I do recognize him from that as well. And then Fast Times at Ridgemont High, he's Mr. Vargas. Better Off Dead. Ghost. Batman Returns. Three Ninjas Knuckle Up. Tomorrow
Nice.
Never Dies. Casper Meets Wendy. Man on the Moon. Just trying to see if there's anything more modern. Death to Smoochie.
Awesome.
Anyway, but I just like talking about those people and seeing what they're in and stuff. He's the organ grinder. And so, yeah, they're at the tree lighting there. That's the first tree lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Very essential because then I want to say the Joker's goons because they are fucking clowns and circus folks. So it's like kind of feels like that, you know? Either way,
Yeah.
the Penguin's goons come out of the big Christmas present.
Yeah. There's some fucking amazing costume design in there too.
Also, Christmas
yeah.
coincidence. Max Schreck is the name of the actor who played Nosferatu in the original.
That's awesome.
That's who he's named after.
Brilliant. So the skeleton motorcycle riders, fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Fucking such great costume design.
Yeah, no, all of that costume and design of this movie is damn near perfect. Like, there's no notes at all. Even the sets, they're better than the last movie. The last movie sets, you can tell they're on the same fucking square block every time they're in the city. But they look better in this one, I think, a little bit.
That is one of the big complaints about this movie, though, is that downtown square block they had is like one soundstage, and it's not very big.
It's the same on both, I'd say. But this one with the Christmas decorations, maybe my mind is tricked more.
Yeah, it's a very small set, though,
Yeah.
as far as that main downtown piece, which is fine. But when you're thinking of a city as big as New York, right, because that's obviously what Gotham is supposed to be mirroring, and then, you know, the Rockefeller Center I can't even talk. Rockefeller
Having a
Center.
stroke.
I hope not. If I do, it was nice knowing you. Nice working with you, Dr. Venkman.
This cat's rolling all over on my lap.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, if you've been to New York, you know the scale of New York, but when you're doing like a social event like that, it makes sense to be in a small area, and the fact that they go back to that location more than once,
Yeah.
it tells a story. It works out very well for what it is here. So I don't have an issue with it, but when you do look back and watch it and you specifically take note of that, it's hard to overlook it once you put that seed in your mind, that tree is growing and it's planted there forever.
So let's continue down this Christmas train. After the first Christmas tree lighting, there's a scene where Bruce Wayne's watching TV and Alfred is putting ornaments on their Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm.
Big ass Christmas tree looking dope.
Mm-hmm.
There are Christmas decorations in the office area that Selena Kyle is going through all the papers for late at night after she reminds herself through her voice messaging to go back to work.
Yeah.
So she's there and there's like wreaths and all sorts of shit in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets killed.
First time.
Yeah.
All right. Keep going down the Christmas train. So what's next?
Off the top of my head, I feel like there's some more dialogue references that I'm forgetting in the middle here, but we know for sure that there's the second Christmas tree lighting, which is where he challenges Batman to be it there.
Mm-hmm.
And they end up killing the Ice Queen, Ice Princess. What is she?
Yeah, she's also a model, is what she says.
Yeah. And then, oh wait, we skipped one. One of the best ones.
Okay.
When after the Christmas present, the Penguin's goons come out at the first Christmas tree lighting. Max Schreck is taken down below into the sewers with the Penguin,
Mm-hmm.
and while he's sitting there, and he's asking him like, if there were these documents, I would see to it that they would be shredded, and that's not an admission. And one of the little friends there with the Penguin hands him a stocking.
Oh, that's right. Yes. And that's
And
when
then
he
out
goes
of
in
the
and pulls that
stocking,
out.
he pulls a lot of patience and a lot of tape.
Yeah. Little patience, a little patience and a lot of tape. That's so
And
good.
then he pulls out something else before he pulls out the hand.
He pulls out the toxic waste.
Oh,
dumps
that's
that
right.
in.
Out of the thermos. Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's that old school like metal thermos that like everyone's, if you grew up in a household, somebody had one of those 70s, 80s model thermos that was just always used.
Yeah. And then obviously Frank's hand.
Yeah.
Is
Your
it
old
Frank or
business.
Fred?
Fred. Remember me? Your old business part, Fred.
Yeah,
I
either
said
way.
business part, not partner. Man, I'm not knowing how to talk tonight. Don't mind me.
So that's a good Christmas reference. Probably the best one because that scene's hilarious. And then he shakes his hand with the hand and lets go of it and leaves him with it.
That scene is fucking fire. That whole scene, that whole underground sequence where these two get down there together.
Well, yeah, I believe the word you're looking for is ah.
Yes. And then the first umbrella in there, right? And I love how they didn't overdo it with the Penguins umbrellas in this movie. Like there's plenty of them there, but they're just kind of subtly placed in there. It's not like his main shtick. But he pulls that one out and he's like, well, what is that supposed to do? Hypnotize me? It's not working. No, it's supposed to give you a splitting headache. Oh, it's not working. And then he fires a fucking blank at him. Blanks.
Yeah. Don't be such a baby, or whatever he says.
Yeah, it's so good. Like Danny DeVito just carries this movie. Now, everyone's good in this, though, man. Everyone's so good in this.
Yeah. And then apparently the guy who plays Max Schreck's son goes on to play Leatherface more than once.
Oh, nice.
I think was it in the remake? Let me confirm this here. Oh yeah, is the remake and then the prequel to the remake.
Mm-hmm.
Played Zangief in Street Fighter.
Oh,
What
the Street Fighter movie
That does not look like him. You know what I mean?
with fucking makeup and a mohawk. I'm sure it does.
But yeah, he was Zangief.
That's fucking heroic.
Yeah, and then he was Leatherface twice. So that's pretty sick.
Hell yeah.
And then I also really like these are the things that don't make much sense, but like they're awesome for the movie still. For example, Penguin going into his little trailer and having a little mini Batmobile that looks like it's one of the ones that'd be outside at Kmart in the 90s.
Yes, like the basically this a little joyride, the quarter joyrider. That's so good. Mixed between that and like an arcade ride that you would, see.
Yeah. Thing looks sick. I want it in my house. Mistletoe.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Mistletoe
the line?
can
Mistletoe can be
deadly if you eat it.
Eat it. A kiss can be even deadlier if you mean it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also later they repeat and they realize that's when they realize who they are. at their little fancy.
Well, when they're also getting all over each other, like
Yeah.
she grabs his belly, like it's so good. It's
Oh, yeah.
definitely not a fucking kids movie though. You watch this movie and you're like, holy shit, people just let us watch this on repeat.
Mm-hmm. Just the pussy I've been looking for.
Yeah.
I'd like to
You're a
fill her
nice-
void.
And you're the nice person, a young person, a role model should have. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it gets the politicians down so good.
Yeah. Obviously, that whole scene there with the mayor introduction is obviously another just brilliant, full of lines.
Mhm.
So he goes down there. He says that role model line. Well, that's I think in a slightly different scene, but he has the role model line. He has obviously the line about the nose, which is so perfect. It bites the nose and it just pays off so well.
Oh yeah, yeah. Kids were watching that with me a little bit earlier, and I was like, it's because they're not huge movie kids, like most kids these days. It's so mixed, whether or not they're big into movies or not.
Yeah.
Like my kids are into the YouTube stuff, so that's fine. I get it. But he was watching that scene. I was like, he's gonna bite his nose because I didn't want him to be fucking shocked, right? And so I was like, it's coming right up. And I was like, he's gonna say this, and I was quoting the lines as he's getting ready to do it. I said, it could be worse. Your nose could be gushing blood. Ha! So good.
It is.
And
It's
then there's just blood all over him for the rest of that scene. And they're just like, let's get you cleaned up. It's so good.
So yeah, the mistletoe, and then does the child thing have anything to do with Christmas?
Yeah, I thought it was Christmas Eve or whatever. They went around and got him. Was that technically not it?
I can't remember that part of it, but it must be because the movie ends with him finding the cat in the alley, getting in the car, and then being like, "Merry Christmas, Alfred,"
Mm-hmm.
and goodwill towards men and women.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such an interesting ending to that movie.
And then you pan up and see the cat woman.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, that's pretty sick. Those are all the Christmas references I could think of, but there might be more too.
Interesting. Here's a little trivia piece. So Burgess Meredith, who played the Penguin on the television series, was asked to play the Penguin's father in the opening sequence, but couldn't do it because of an illness.
Oh, damn.
That'd have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been. I am a fan of the 66 Batman show and movie, so
Yeah, I love that shit. It's campy as all get out, but it's so good because of it.
I would like to actually sit down and watch the whole series, but haven't done that.
Mm-mm. No, I've been a fan of that movie since, I was a little kid. Like, I remember renting that way before before Batman 89 came out. And watching the Batman movie there. And that was one of the earlier DVDs I got. I remember buying that in the $5 Walmart bin.
Yeah.
And going home and watching that while I was doing some stenciling on a guitar case.
I've got a little Batman VHS collection, and that's part of it too.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Obviously, the 4 Warner Brothers films,
Mm-hmm.
the 66 Batman the movie, the 2 animated ones that came out with the animated series that I didn't even realize were included in that Blu-ray set when I bought it. Mask of Phantasm and Sub-Zero.
Yep, they're both in there on the
And
streaming.
then Batman Beyond the movie as well.
Nice. So let's talk about some other things in this movie that stick out to me. Like, I've seen this movie so many times, but there's always the things in there that you watch this, and some of it's amazing, some of it's really dumb. The one thing that always pisses me off in this movie is that at the beginning, when the bat signal gets set off and the fucking giant bat signals in Bruce Wayne's yard like fucking turn and shine inside the windows there. I'm like, no one noticed you having these installed outside your fucking house?
It's not like he has a bunch of neighbors out there, but I mean, I
Well,
see your
still-
point.
Yeah, You're just like, why would you? I mean, there'd just be a more discreet way to do that. Like, you have something on your roof that would point at that instead of turning giant other bat signals and pointing those inside your house.
That scene's funny as fuck because that's the first time you see him in this movie, and he's just sitting in the dark, like waiting for it to happen.
Uh-huh.
And he's just like has nothing else fucking going on in his life. I think that's kind of the point that's being made by showing that.
Now, we know that Michael Keaton has a lot less screen time as Batman in this movie compared to the first movie. Right? It's very limited, much in the way that Beetlejuice is, right? You know, you've got the main character of a movie that doesn't appear all that much.
It's like fucking Jaws, man.
Mm-hmm. Now, the fascinating part about that in this movie is that I feel like Bruce Wayne has just as much screen time as Batman. Because we see Bruce Wayne as himself throughout this pretty regularly.
Yeah.
Right? Early on in the movie, then we see him with his meeting with Shrek. And that's a pretty interesting piece, right? One billionaire fighting another rich guy over a power plant. He's like, why do you need a power plant? We have a power surplus. It's cheaper to build. It's cheaper to build it now. And you're like, sounds like some shit real people would say.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to leave a legacy for his son. Dad, go. It's interesting though, too, that Chip like has that same.
He's just doing a Christopher Walken impression for sure.
I know, but it works so well because they're just
Dad, go.
He sounds so douchey.
Save yourself.
Yeah. You're coming at me all wrong. Your tone, it's all wrong. Say it again. I'll stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
Joe Dirt. You want me to say what? Like I don't get it.
So Catwoman is good in this.
That's one way of putting it. Yeah. Just the pussy I've been looking for.
Well, the origin story they make for her is cheesy enough, but it works.
Well, that's the thing. Let's talk about both of these real quick. The fact that they're both made into supernatural, sort of weird, freakish beings in this is a little what the fuckies. You know what I mean? Like that's inventive to this, which is interesting because that's how I knew it growing up, obviously. So then going back to find out that this wasn't how Penguin always was. He wasn't always half man, half penguin, fucking sewer dweller. He's more of a gangster type usually. Was heartbreaking. Looking back though, yeah, some of it's goofy as fuck. This man's eating raw fish and shit. Sure, it's nasty and gnarly and awesome. But I can understand if you were a huge comic book fan back in the day and being like, what the fuck is this? Same thing with Catwoman. Like, she is given 9 lives because she is chewed to pieces by cats. And let me tell you something. If I was one of her cats, I'd also chew her up her fucking ass after she fell out of a window. I'd eat her ass. And I don't mean like that. I just mean I would feast upon her because what she feeds them for dinner is fucking milk. Like, she learned how to feed cats from 1950s cartoons.
Yeah.
God
you
damn
have
it.
your dinner. Well, she's interesting because, like, the Selena Kyle is dumb and ditzy, and then obviously gets thrown out the window.
I don't even see her as dumb and ditzy. I see her as just like super stressed out, like anxious.
Yeah.
Like, cause she's just so anxious about that job. It's just like, that's the way I read it this time. I don't know.
Yeah, it felt like she was trying to play it up to me, and at least at the very beginning. And then she talks about the cat like being promiscuous and her not being able to be. Like, she's jealous of her cat, which is interesting. Obviously, then all these cats like start to eat her fingers and stuff, which always grossed me out as a kid.
Oh, that's the worst, is the biting of the hands right there. Everything else is fine, but once the cats are biting into the literal fingers, it's just like, oh, I'm looking away.
Yeah, it's that body horror coming at you right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Squeaking through into Batman Returns. She's so good as Catwoman and all the crazy shit she does. Like, I like how she gets those sewing needles and like puts them into her gloves and everything and keeps the taser.
Yeah.
So, like, we see a good story arc for her. The only thing that sucks about so many of these older movies is they just fucking killed off the villain at the end. Like that was just standard practice.
Yeah. They didn't kill her off, but then nobody brought her back either because,
Well, yeah, after this point in time,
once you recast Michael Keaton, you don't want to bring her back because this Catwoman would not work in a Schumacher universe.
no, and that was so weird anyway because they kept Commissioner Gordon, they kept Alfred, and it's just such a weird film universe, right? Because technically it's all the same, but they never felt this. The first two feel like it's the same universe. The other ones feel like they're each different.
Yeah.
They don't feel connected at all.
Looking back though, I still love Batman Forever. We'll have to look back on that again sometime.
The last time I watched that, man, it's rough.
See, I felt better and better about it
Really?
in like a fun way, especially even Batman Returns though, or Batman and Robin. See, that one is it's borderline just as goofy as 66, if not parody of Batman. So it has its own, like there's bat fucking credit cards in that scene, and they're talking about like buying a woman essentially.
Yeah, there's some ridiculous shit in there. That's for sure. It just makes you wish we'd gotten one more Keaton movie out of it.
I mean, you got that Flash stuff.
I had to watch that whole fucking movie to see him in there, and it just wasn't worth it. And then they threw that Batgirl movie away.
Yeah.
Which is fucking nuts.
Brendan Fraser was supposed to be in that too.
Uh-huh.
That was going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on there.
No, they got rid of it as far as I know. I think Warner Brother destroyed it allegedly. We'll see.
Somebody will come up with a copy of that eventually, I feel like. Like eventually, yeah. I
mean, they wrote it off as a tax credit, so I can't imagine somewhere that they don't have it available some way, somehow.
That'll pay him back some way, somehow.
Yeah.
I'm going to be somebody. We're quoting the Flintstones movie from 1994, for those of you who don't know.
And that's a good film too, man.
Yeah, Rick Moranis, Kyle MacLachlan.
Mm-hmm.
John Goodman.
Yeah.
Halle Berry. Who's the... Yeah, fuck it. I don't care. Anyway.
Yeah, so what else about this movie sticks out to you? The thing I always liked as a kid, obviously the Bat Missile's fucking awesome.
Yeah, just the fact, like the back boat also.
Oh, yeah.
So you get the Bat Wing in the first movie, but you get the Bat Boat in this one. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I like how they didn't like repeat that. The Batmobile wasn't destroyed, but the Batwing was, so. And then this vehicle was destroyed too. You're like, why is all the side vehicles getting destroyed? Obviously, the Batmobile got fucked up in this, which is funny because later on, Alfred's like fucking working on it.
Yeah.
Which is why he has to take that little boat thing out to begin with, because the Batmobile's fucked. Which a Bat Cycle would have been cool in there, but
Yeah.
Obviously. Oh, the Batman, the wing gliders when they became stiff wings to like glide down was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I always got a kick out of that. That's such a good fucking toy line for this movie too.
Yeah, I have the Catwoman figure somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
As the whip and everything.
Yeah, the Catwoman figure, which is a new figure for this. The Penguin figure, they didn't license the Danny DeVito look at all, and all they did was repainted a previous Penguin figure that they done out, which is like DC Heroes, because we had the original version of that, the purple and white version that was like that was a couple of years older, from like the mid 80s. I think I had that as a kid, and I don't even remember where we got that or when I got that, but I just knew that we had that version of it. Obviously, I think they changed the accessories for this, but it looked nothing like them. So it like had the top hat and everything.
Yeah, the Batman toy history is weird there. Because then didn't Kenner do the first Batman 89, but they just did the 3 figures.
No, it was a different company that did the first.
Oh, it was somebody before Kenner. Toy Biz, was that who it was?
Yeah, I think so. And that Batman toy line was amazing. The Batcave they made for that was really fucking cool. The Batmobile they made for that was awesome because they had a little thin plastic sheet that you could like basically put on top of there to do the shields. And you could fit 2 figures in it. Now that was one thing that always pissed me off about the Bat Missile Batmobile is you couldn't have a passenger in there.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but as a kid that just fucking pissed me off. Really made me mad. Don't know why.
Batman
There
has
is
to fly solo.
so many cool versions of that Batman though, but you think about it, like people talk a lot of shit on Kenner, Star Wars, and Hasbro Star Wars for just fucking repainting Star Wars figures, but literally that's all they ever did with Batman. Now they give you lots of cool accessories and shit. And that was interesting that they released a Robin figure for this line too. That was a white Robin. I'm not sure where that sculpt originates from. So fascinating stuff though.
Yeah. I think the Catwoman's the only figure that I still have from any of that stuff.
I've got, because they did the Dark Knight collection, which I think Kenner got the line to and did a little bit of that before the Batman Returns, I want to say. I think that's when the license switched between movies. I need to do my research on it, but I have that Dark Knight, like the basic black Batman figure. So, and then I bought a new on stock Batman figure that I'd opened, the yellow Batman, the deep dive Batman, I think is what it was called.
Yeah, because I bought you another one last Christmas.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that you had already bought it, but I remember that we had it from our childhood. And I was like,
Yep.
oh, I'm buying that.
Yeah, I picked that one out with my grandma, with Granny one time when we were shopping for the holidays. I picked one out.
That's dope suit.
So many good Batman figures back then, though.
Yeah.
And they all had good accessories, which is the best thing about it. So you could actually like make your own Bat Cave, and which we never had the Bat Cave then. So the firehouse, the Ghostbusters firehouse, worked as Wayne Manor for me, and I parked the Batmobile down in the vehicle bay.
Yeah.
Couldn't close the door with the Batmobile in there because it was too long, but you know, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. It's got to park somewhere.
Yep. Same company toys, so Batman could ride the fire pole. You know, you gotta love that stuff. Yeah, the toy line was great for this. The Happy Meal promotion was a blast.
Which is hilarious again.
McDonald's got so fucking pissed at this, which is funny because when you think about these movies now, like we all grew up watching them and loving them, but they're pretty dark for Batman movies, right?
Oh, the Penguin definitely scared me as a child.
Yeah. Yeah, he's such a good villain there, and he's so grotesque.
Yeah.
And all the weird little fucking mannerisms and sounds that Danny DeVito made at him, so good. Like I was watching it,
grunting and
yeah, yeah. I just like all the mumbling and fucking grunting, like literally just sounded like an animal. It's so good. And that's all Danny DeVito. Like that's not somebody else going through after the fact doing it. Like that's Danny DeVito, and that's why he was so good as that role.
It's the horniest interpretation of the Penguin as well.
Oh yeah,
he's just like the whole movie, just like Catwoman shows up and he's like just it's disturbing.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. And like again, like people just let us watch this as a kid, right? And it's not that bad, but I'm just saying, like, you know.
What's that line she has when she's on his bed? She says something about we gotta rub him out, and he says, "Rub him out." Ooh, baby oil! I've got baby oil.
Oh yeah, she says something snarky, and he's like, "Yeah, do you want scented or unscented?" I think.
Yeah.
Some funny shit.
That's so funny. They have the
And
whole
then
thing with eating each other's.
Puts that fucking bird in her mouth, and then he like pulls the knife on the cat. You're like, Jesus Christ, fucking assholes.
Yeah, no, it's insane. Actually, these movies have been released on 4K now.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard Batman Returns is the best looking of them.
Really? Out of the original
And
4 there.
yeah, because they released them as a set. I have the set on Blu-ray and I have the VHS. I don't have the DVDs anymore. I only had 89 and returns on DVD, but at some point I gave a bunch of DVDs to Lucas when I had Blu-rays.
Oh, just the duplicates, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I could see you doing that.
But I would definitely like 89 and returns. I'm definitely going to continue watching until I'm dead. You know what I mean? Like every now and then. So I may as well pick up the 4K of those and see what they're like.
Yeah, they're so good to watch, and like you don't want to stop watching them. There's no
Yeah.
reason. This is such a good holiday movie with the snow and everything else. Like Batman, I feel like you can kind of watch whenever, but Batman Returns is definitely a Christmas movie. It's always one of those movies I want to watch when it's cold out, when it's dark, when that fall season changes and it's really starting to get dark at like 5 or 5:30 at night, you know, and that terrible time of year is when it feels
Now,
like the perfect time to watch this movie. Yeah.
yeah. I'm waiting for it to snow before I watch The Shining this season.
Mm-hmm. You mean snow again?
Well,
Yeah.
real snow.
Well, we had one snow, yeah. It was a decent little amount, but it didn't last long. So, the hype for this movie is insane when this came out. I think this went up against Home Alone 2 in theaters, did it not?
I mean, I was 1 year old, so I don't remember.
Oh, you're worthless. No, I'm just kidding.
Batman Returns came out June 16th.
So some interesting tidbits here, right? So apparently in the UK they had an alternate version of this movie up until anything 2005. So they cut a couple of scenes. Apparently they cut a scene of a clown swinging nunchucks. And then when Catwoman put the spray paint into the microwave,
Jesus.
I was like, huh, I guess people probably didn't want kids like going and blowing up the neighbor's house, I guess. That's fucked up. So there's some people say this is the darkest Batman movie ever made. Would you agree with that?
Depends on what you mean by darkest. Because really, no, I'm probably Dark Knight, right? Batman's like love interest is killed. I don't know because like there's nobody important dies but Penguin in this. Like it's dark in a sense that it's pretty goth in aesthetic and whatnot, but like it's not dark in like I'm not having emotions while watching it or anything. Like I'm not like existential or anything. I'm just having a great time.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking when I saw that comment about it. I'm just like, I don't know about that. I feel like the Dark Knight trilogy, each of those has stuff that's way darker, right? When you look at,
I'm thinking of Dark Knight in particular, the scene after Rachel's killed, and it's just like him Batman standing in the rubble of that shit, like stuff like that. Harvey Dent is way more tragic in that than,
yeah.
I mean, the only problem with the Harvey Dent character in that is obviously it's so short-lived and whatnot, how it plays out, but it is like a heartbreaking whole scenario there with everything. But I don't know. I think they just say that because it's like this. It looks the scariest. It has the scariest visuals, for sure, because of Penguin alone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the characters themselves are terrifying, but I would say that, yeah, the Dark Knight itself has a lot more death, a lot more killing, a lot more violence.
Like that
Right.
whole scene with the two boats having the remote controls to blow each other's boat up.
Uh-huh.
Like that's fucking dark.
Yeah. Well, even just like the Joker himself, like
he has that scene where he has two people kill each other to join his team with sticks.
or having auditions or tryouts or whatever the hell he says. Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff like that. That's like that. That makes me feel icky, which is good.
Yeah. But as far as the original 4 Batman movies, and I say the original 4, because the Batman 66 is based off the show, so kindly excluding that. But
If you're
I
talking
mean,
about those, then this might be the darkest one. Yes, because there's also the children kidnapping aspect I forgot about.
well, yeah, and then the fact that the Penguin's abandoned as a baby, too, right? A helpless baby. So,
I mean, it's less abandoning and more attempted murder for sure. They thought they were killing that motherfucker, but
yes, they did. They sure did. And
can't blame
then,
them though.
I mean, the first Batman, obviously, Bruce sees his parents be killed, which that is a nice thing because I think Batman Returns is one of the only Batman movies that really doesn't fucking harp on his parents dying.
Yeah,
It doesn't
because
even come
Batman
up.
Forever goes back to it. Batman and Robin, I don't know if they do a bunch. I don't think they go back to it a bunch.
We almost need to investigate that. But then there's like the
Batman Forever does it a fuck ton though. Yeah, they
mhm.
redid the whole goddamn like scene practically. No, I guess they did. They did the funeral, but still,
Yeah.
that's still, yeah, didn't need it.
No. Well, and they kind of retcon that too. So same canon universe, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hmm.
But that is a nice thing. Like they don't fucking make you be like, oh, we got to relive your parents' death again.
Yeah. That's funny because even the Joker movie did that.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of those things that
If I see any more pearls falling down in slow motion, god damn it, I'm going to kill somebody.
yeah. The only pearl necklace that should be going in slow motion is the kind in an adult feature.
Batman.
Sounds like a sick kind of twisted movie to watch.
Yeah, but speaking of, have you seen no you haven't, but Nosferatu. That's a horny fucking movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Also. But it's a dark kind of horny, like the monster fucker horny, so
Okay.
not in a good way. Like you're feeling icky while it's being horny, you're not like, yeah, get horny, get nasty. You're like, ugh, I don't like this. Stop it.
That's good. When a movie makes you feel uncomfortable, that means it's doing something.
Oh yeah, it was pretty solid. Highly recommend checking it out. It's my mini review for it. It's horny as hell.
Good. Yeah, I wanted to check that out, but I just haven't been able to yet. Obviously, that just released, so
Yeah, I need to see that Lord of the Rings movie too. Damn it.
we're coming into the Wolfman coming out soon too.
Yeah, there was a trailer for that attached to Nosferatu, so
Oh,
it's pretty
nice.
sick.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that one's going to be interesting. The trailer, I'm not going to lie, has me underwhelmed, but I'm sure once I see the movie, I will enjoy it. So, and if not, then I don't. But I'm going to watch the original, and then I'm going to watch the 2009 remake and talk about all three of them together at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people forget about the 2009 remake because
Honestly, it's underrated. Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins, dude, and it's still set in that time. It's like
a period piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I like it.
I'm glad this new one's doing something different with it though, too, since they're, remaking it, do something different. It takes place in modern day. So just like the Invisible Man did. So I like that. That's sick as fuck that he's doing a Wolfman movie now. Like,
yeah, the Invisible Man, I was surprised with like how good that was. That really was fresh.
Even explaining how that movie worked in concept, like talking about it, sounds like trash, but when you watch it, you're like, all right, no, that's good. That's great. So I'm thinking that this new one will feel the same way once I actually see it.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping they get it right. But while we're on DC stuff, what'd you think of the Superman trailer?
I don't give a fuck. I just don't. I don't give any sort of fucks. I'll tell you what I do think. Green Lantern looks like fucking Uncle Fester from Adam's Family Values.
Yeah. Apparently, that's how that one of the comic artists was drawing that Green Lantern in the 80s, though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well,
comic accurate.
I don't give a fuck about comic accurate if it looks like shit still.
Yeah.
He looks like fucking stupid. And I'm like, ugh. And then they have the guy who's Ultraman or whatever, whoever he is. He played Darwin in X-Men First Class, which is a character they killed off like immediately, which was lame as fuck because he was a cool character, good actor. But I just don't give a fuck about Superman. I give zero fucks about Superman. 100% zero. 0%. The only time I care about Superman is maybe if he's fighting Batman or teamed up with Batman. If Batman's involved, I'm in, okay? But fuck Superman. I don't give a fuck about Superman. He can eat my asshole at the speed of light.
So I saw this trailer, and I'm not extreme like that by any means, but I saw the trailer. I'm intrigued. Superman's never been my favorite character. I've never watched any of the Superman TV shows. Hell, I've never even seen the original Superman movies. I mean, I may have seen parts of them when they're on TV before. I know I saw Superman Returns in theaters when that came out, just because that was fascinating and had been so long, and they try to keep the original movie canon.
Yeah,
So I did see that, which is interesting.
I watched
And
the
then-
Justice League cartoon that Cartoon Network played. That's my only experience with it. And again, that was mainly just because of Batman. And then
Yeah.
that's when I learned to like Green Lantern, but that was the Jon Stewart, who's the Black Green Lantern. And, you know, we wouldn't want to do that now, would we?
Yeah, come on now. No, it looks interesting. I'm excited because James Gunn's doing it, but I mean, he also did that Suicide Squad movie that was only slightly better than the other Suicide Squad. So
Yeah, everybody likes to blow James Gunn a little too much. I think he's all right.
I like
He's
the Guardian. I
My
like the
favorite thing
Guardians
he's ever-
trilogy. It's pretty good.
I like the first one. The second one is mid, and the third one's just depressing. If it wasn't depressing, I would probably like it more. I can't. I'm never gonna want to watch that movie ever again because I like animals, and I don't know. Maybe that's my fault, but yeah, the first one I really like. I liked his work on writing the original Scooby Doo movie. That's my favorite thing he's ever done. But also, maybe the worst thing he's ever done at the same time because he made Scrappy Doo the villain.
Yeah.
Dumb bitch. Should talk more shit on James Gunn. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about the Zack Snyder versus James Gunn thing either, because I think both of the universes probably suck dick. Matt
I don't
Reeves
know.
is the only one doing anything with DC. I give a fuck right now.
So that is interesting that they're still carrying that stuff on, even though they've basically rebooted the series, but they're carrying some actors over from Peacemaker and certain things like that. So this is going to be convoluted from the get-go, but I'll see Superman. My excitement level is probably just mid on it right now. It's not high, it's not low. It's just kind of like, okay.
I've
I'll
never
see
even
what that's
watched
about.
Man of Steel, man. And it's been on streaming, and I've debated it, but I'm like, eh.
Yeah, I saw that once and it just didn't do anything for me.
I've watched Batman versus Superman like 2 or 3 times, and I watched Justice League once.
Yeah, there's certain things, some of those early. So there's a couple of movies that have some weird parallels for me, right? Obviously, Wonder Woman, the original Wonder Woman movie in the DC universe there reminded me so much of Captain America, the first Avenger.
Mhm.
Obviously, they're both same time period type of a thing, so there's a lot of similarities there. So those had a lot of overlap to me as far as the feel and look and tone. And then I would say that Man of Steel, and some people are probably going to be pissed that I say this, reminded me of the first Thor movie. Just like this weird, just some of the battle scenes and shit looked just too similar and were so close to one another to me that it just like, what was going on with this? And I know we had Man of Steel a little bit before we had Batman versus Superman, and they were trying to catch up to Marvel. It's like, you don't need to catch up to Marvel, do your own thing. But you know how that went.
Oh, shit the bed.
But at the same time, it's been so long. Like, are you feeling superhero movie fatigue?
Yeah, but at the same time, if something else, if they continue the stories that I care about, I'm down. Like the ones that I've seen, like what did Marvel even put out this year?
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look, man.
I
think
remember the last Doctor Strange movie was okay. It's pretty decent. Same with the last Spider-Man movie. It was like you go back and rewatch it. It's not as good as it was the first time, but I still think it's decent enough. Just the fact that you get all those characters and stuff, it's pretty fun still.
the thing that made that movie was that first viewing. That first movie the first viewing where you didn't know what to expect was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The second viewing and the third, anything beyond the first one, I felt like it was like lost some of the luster because the surprises you already knew were coming. Which some movies that works the opposite way. Once you know they're coming, you can like get excited and enjoy it. And for me, I haven't really rewatched that one too much.
The new Captain America comes out in February.
Yep.
I am excited to see that. And there's things that I watch that trailer and I'm like, okay, honestly, I don't give a fuck about Red Hulk. That's fine that you're doing that. At least at least I'm somewhat familiar with Red Hulk. So there's that. But I'm more interested in just seeing Anthony Mackie's performance as this character continuing and how far he's come. And I really enjoyed the series they did. So
yeah, and I think I'm gonna have to rewatch that series before I go see this movie because that series came out so long ago. I feel like I don't remember much of it.
I've rewatched it like I've seen it 3 times now, I think, because it's one of the ones I've rewatched. Yeah, that one and the Hawkeye series.
Oh, the Hawkeye series I should have rewatched over the holidays. That's a good time.
For sure.
Yeah.
And She-Hulk is the other one. Those are my 3 favorites from that. She-Hulk is great. I've also rewatched it at least I've watched it at least twice all the way through.
Well, I feel like with the pandemic, everything shifted to this like TV series release, and like the TV series can supplement things, but
yeah, I didn't watch Agatha. That was the one that was recently out. I probably would be more into that than some people, though, so I might check it out still.
Yeah, I've liked it just because it's like this witchcraft stuff in there, but I wouldn't say it was amazing. It was fun, but it wasn't anything that was like, oh, I've read the books on, so I didn't know shit about it,
Yeah.
So,
they do have new Avengers movies coming out. I don't know. I'm stoked for MCU stuff. At least the thing is originally I wanted to consume it all when you knew where it was going, just because you're like, I want to understand every bit and piece. And now I'm at a point where I'm definitely like, all right, I'll just watch what I want to watch with what they put out, and I'll miss some pieces if I have to.
Yeah, I'm in the same spot with you there. Like, my excitement level isn't there, and I feel like they finished so fucking strong with Infinity War and Endgame that after that it was just like very significant.
Well, yeah, I really liked the first Captain Marvel movie too, but then I kind of like watched half of the next one and just stopped watching because I was eventually bored.
Well, they didn't do anything compelling, and like they kind of brought her in late in that, and so that felt more like a setup to other things to come. It didn't feel like it was its own standalone movie.
Yeah, so we got Thunderbirds,
Thunderbolts. Yep. That should be interesting.
If anything, for David Harbour and Sebastian Stan and Florence Pugh.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 characters are the ones I'm interested in seeing again. The rest I honestly could give a fuck about. But
you don't care about U.S. Agent?
I'd care about him too. He's mildly interesting as well.
Yeah.
Very interesting. He portrayed that character really well too. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good performance.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we've been talking about DC for the last
forever
little while here. So.
Yeah, let's just wrap this thing up. I mean, Batman Returns fucking kicks ass. I have fun every time I watch it. It's never not a good time to watch Batman Returns.
Yep.
Especially on the holiday season. Fit it right in.
100%.
All right, well, we'll see you back here next week, and I think we're just going to talk about our best of for 2024. Kind of go through our favorites.
Yep.
So we'll see you back there then to talk about our favorite movies and highlights of the year.
All right.
So,
Good night, everybody.
later.